Hi everyone, welcome to my review of Charlie Chaplin's The Kid, his first feature film, and it's in 1921. Here we are, Charlie Chaplin actual feature film set, the collection. This is, a stunning set, and I will be reviewing all of these films now on this channel. And of course as well, his last film, Countess Hong Kong, I will be reviewing that. It's not actually on this set. I'll have to find that, at some point. But yeah, this set will be reviewed probably over the next month. I cannot wait to re-watch these and watch the ones I didn't get round to. A Woman of Paris is one of them. But the first one to do is, of course, is The Kid. And this is his first feature film, as I've said. I've reviewed a couple of his shorts, and two of them were masterpieces for me. The Kid, it's one of the most acclaimed films, really, of the silent era and of all time. Of course, it's only 52 minutes, I think it was, 53 minutes, and it's just, I agree, it's one of the greatest films ever made for me. And Chaplin, of course, kind of talks about him a little bit in my short reviews. But these are the ones that really changed my life in terms of the feature films. The Kid, I just can't. It's just so perfect the way he just hit this. His first feature, and it's a perfect film. It's absolutely stunning. And Chaplin has really changed my life, as I said. Some of the later films are even better than this. That's something else. A perfect debut film, really. Feature film, and one of the best, definitely. And the fact that he's able, I'll give a spoiler, at least 3 films that he's made afterwards are better than this, considerably better. That's how good he is. I think he's one of the absolute finest directors of all time, and this really is it's so powerful, it's so moving, so human, of course hilarious once again. And Jackie Coogan of course plays the little kid that he so basically gets abandoned by this woman played by Edna Purviance again, and she's wonderful in this film, and she basically abandons him somewhere in this car near a kind of hospital. I think it's like a charity one, and yeah, it's kind of hoping that he'd get some more care than what she could give him. And then eventually, it goes to the 5 years later thing, and she's like a kind of big star and everything. And yeah, you basically Chaplin, the character of the tramp once again, discovers this, this baby left, and it ends up on the streets, and it's left there. And Chaplin walks by and sees it. And at first, there's some great comedy sequences where he kind of is about to throw it down the drain, and he doesn't want it really at first and stuff. He's trying to give it away into this other woman's, pram, and eventually he kind of gives in, and he kind of falls in love with this kid, and just he decides to look after it. And it cuts quite early on to goes 5 years later, and this guy, you see Jackie Coogan playing the kid, and it basically shows them, their lives, and how, and it just explores their relationship wonderfully. It's such a human way, and also, of course, it's absolutely hilarious from start to finish. Well, the last 10 minutes are a lot more darker and stuff. And of course, you've got this dream sequence as well near the end, which is wonderful. Wonderfully fantastical, and it's just surreal elements in there. But this film is just when I saw it, I'd already seen Modern Times and City Lights before this. Yeah, so this was my third feature film I'd saw of him. A bit out of order there, but I saw it and I was just thinking, wow, he's done it again. He just moved me beyond what I thought could be possible with this. It's a short film, and usually I do, of course. I prefer long films, epics if I can. And it's always quite really impressive when a director, for me, when a director does it, within this 53 minutes, and so much ground is covered, the scope of it, and he's able to just make me cry, because yes, I did. It's just something else, it's just so much skill put into this, and so much heart and passion. Simple plot once again. Everything's done by Chaplin pretty much. His own production company, of course, by this point. He moved away from the contracts and all that sort of stuff. And of course, he was one of the founders of United Artists. with Mary Pickford and all them people. And of course, basically he was in full control of what he wanted to achieve here. And yes, it's written by him, directed by him. The score is composed by him, which is wonderful. It's beautiful. And yeah, of course, he's the main star. It's wonderful, this film. Jackie Coogan, one of the best child performances easily. I see loads of lists. So it was quite interesting to see, best child performances, and the usuals come up. But Jackie Coogan from this film never gets really too much put on there. I think it was a wonderful performance for his age. It's stunning. The emotion, that's put into it, and just how how charming this little kid is and stuff. And the slapstick in this film works wonderfully. And he's great. This kid in the slapstick stuff, the scenes. And once again, Chaplin on form. Absolutely wonderful. All the kind of sequences are put together on their own right. They are masterful. They're genius. But this is more than the shorts and everything. He started to become more of a dramatic director. He made more drama films. Working his way, city lights and everything like that. The Circus is a little bit less so in that. It's a bit more of the comedy than most of his feature films. But generally his feature films are a lot more, a lot more dramatic than his shorts. Of course, they were more comedy, slapstick. Of course, two of the shorts I've seen are, of course, dramas and comedies, but just more so, as I'm saying, more so with his features and more dramatic and stuff. And this film, when the certain scene happens, more than halfway through, it really hits you. It's really, really powerful. One of the most powerful images, when Chaplin is just kind of breaking down and you just see him look at the camera. It's just absolutely stunning. And Jackie Coogan as well. Wow, he is so good in this film. Really, really something. Of course, I've heard many things that Chaplin had a great relationship with him, off screen and kind of made him feel at ease and all that sort of stuff. And it's just he got the best out of him because it's really something highly moving. Something you can all relate to. This kind of thing. I always love it when you've got this. It's kind of father-son stuff going on and everything, and it's explored so well here. It's so powerful, so sincere and human. Chaplin, was just a humanist at heart. Some people call him sentimental and all this. I don't buy into that one bit. If you've got a heart, surely you can't watch this film and call it a bad film or call it sappy and everything like that. It's stunning. Surely everyone can relate to this and see the merit in it, at least. But this is just stunning. I think that, as I said, the characters are great in this film. Edna Purviance again, she gives a great performance. You got some as well, the kind of early Chaplin regulars as well, and sort of background characters. I just think the scope of this film and the way it explores childhood, father-son relationship, and kind of as well at one point, loss, feeling like you're going to lose someone and stuff, and as well, kind of I can't really ruin some of the other stuff that it explores because that can't be spoilers. I can't say that, but it's a simple plot, simple setup as always with most Chaplins. The execution is something else. This is a highly spiritual film and full of emotion. This is something else. I think that it's genius comedy sequences. The chase kind of scene where he's going across the rooftops is something else. It's thrilling stuff once again, and at the same time, the stakes at that point, it's just all wonderful. The way this film comes together at the end is something else. It's a short film, 53 minutes, but it just manages to pack so much in there. The scope of it, the ground it covers, and the emotional connection I have to this film is something else. And it's just one of Chaplin's best. But really saying that, I could say that about most of the features I've seen of him. I've seen 8 feature films of his. Really, they're all absolute stunning films. But this remains one of his better ones of them. It's hard to kind of say that without including all of them really. you know, it's not his best film. You know, I think his absolute best film is beyond the rest of them, and we'll get to that at some point. You know, it won't be the next film, The Gold Rush. As a spoiler, that's all I'll reveal. After that, it could be any of them ones. Kind of take your have a guess maybe. But this film has got no flaws for me. It is masterfully shot and edited. The soundtrack, you know, the score, composed by Chaplin. It's full of emotion. It's really, really moving stuff, and it's just used so well throughout. You know, and you know, the dream sequence as well near the end is so good. And people have criticised that. Fair enough, you know, saying it doesn't fit into it, but I don't feel that. I think it's wonderful. Kind of getting inside of this. It's very, very funny, but just the whole idea of that, you know, how basically how it portrays the kind of one-sided mind of this character of the tramp as well, and just the way it's been put together is really, really it's very fantastical, and you know, it just makes the ending even better. I feel more rewarding. But yes, of course, this gets full marks once again. I watched this today again. You know, watched it with Rear Window. You know, the same night. What a night that is! You know, of film. Not as good as Rear Window, but still gets my full marks and into my 100% plus tiers. And you know what? It gets my 100% plus tier 2 rating. That's how good it is. I think it's a stunning masterpiece, flawless. One of Chaplin's masterpieces, of course. I think the performances are so good. You know, that scene where Chaplin just kind of, you know, breaks down, and of course as well Jackie Coogan. It is it's something else. You know, you just can't. I couldn't quite believe it when I first saw it. How how good Chaplin is. You know, as an actor. I think really, you know, a lot of the time, yes, people do praise Chaplin, especially more so now, as a director, you know, as a composer and all these sort of things. But I sometimes feel that as an actor, he gets a bit underrated. I think he's one of the top 5 actors of all time. I think the emotion that he gives in this film is off the charts, you know, and of course as well, so hard to pull off how, you know, his kind of slapstick and everything, all his gestures, everything, the way he walks, of course, famously. It's something that I just really don't think he gets enough credit for. Actually, people realising he was an actor, you know, as well as a director and everything. And I think he's just one of the finest. You know, he's I think he's better than Marlon Brando and people like that. That's how good he is. And a master of the craft. You know, every element of filmmaking here is perfect, and very, very short film, but still well into my favourite films list, and perfect, a flawless masterpiece from me, and yeah, highly recommend it. You know, if you've not seen The Kid, perfect place to start, of course, and it is fitting that it's his first feature film. You know, it's a film that you can instantly, I guess, you know, relate to, connect to, and be moved by. You know, it's a film that's surely universal in that sense. You know, this relationship that is explored over the film. It's just really, really uplifting, and really, it just really moves me, and you know, makes me feel happy and everything like that, and sad, of course, at times. And yeah, it's just beautiful. You know, it's something like the Tree of Life, where, you know, the way it explores its childhood and with such a sincerity. You know, it's something else. You know, it's something that just touches, of course, so many people, and me included. Highly recommend it. A flawless masterpiece from Chaplin. And yes, you know, cannot wait to review the rest of these films. Next up, of course, is A Woman of Paris, which I have not seen yet. So that'll be up next in terms of the features. So yeah, thanks for watching my review of Charlie Chaplin's The Kid.